All right, everybody. We are on Unit 36, Session 4. Unit 36, Session 4. And this is a very significant video because this is our last lesson in the Gospel Project. So if you start all the way back in Genesis with us a few years ago, congratulations, one. And that is an awesome thing. That means you've been serving for 3 years, and that is incredible. So thank you guys so much. But also, dust off your notes because next week we'll be right back there at Unit 1, Session 1. So in the book of Genesis. So I love the book of the Bible, I love the Bible because when you finish it, it doesn't mean you're done with it, right? Like many books, when you finish it, it might go back on your shelf. For us, we just start it back over or read in another passage, and it's just awesome. So thank you guys so much for serving. But we're, like I said, Unit 36, Session 4. This is Revelation 19, 6 through, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to look at it. But it is Revelation 19 is our passage. And I think if I do this, you can still see me. Yeah, I think you should be able to still see me. So it's Revelation 19, verses 11 through 16, Revelation 21, 1 through 5, and Revelation 22, 1 through 5. So just a couple things I want to highlight here. Obviously, we barely scratched the surface of the book of Revelation just because there's so much in there, and there's so much in all the books. You can make that argument about every book of the Bible that we went in depth to. But just a couple things I want to note. Revelation 19 talks about Jesus's second coming when he comes to make war, right? And this is quite a bit different than the Jesus we're akin to seeing in the scriptures, because we're used to seeing the gentle and the lowly Jesus Christ that came as a humble servant into this world. This is important for us to know because there's a distinction here. In the Gospels, he comes into this world as a baby. He comes in this world as just like a normal person, right? And he has this humble, and it almost seems like scandalous that he would enter this world in this way. Well, he makes up for it when he comes back in Revelation 19. When he comes and he will make war, right? The Bible describes him in his glorified body as this undefeated champion warrior that will come back and will destroy death and Hades forever, right? And Satan will be destroyed, and all his followers, and it's just a very triumphant moment for good over evil, and that's what we get to see. And so it's important for us to know, because when he comes back, to make war, like it's too late, you know. And obviously, depending on your view of the book of Revelation, that will come. That will preview several steps, but regardless, we know that time is running out. Now, we don't know how much time. We don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime or if it could be hundreds of years from now. But what we do know is there's less time today than there was yesterday for people to hear the good news, right? And so it's just interesting to see Jesus coming in this form, and it's almost like he's coming in the form of God, like, because that's who he is. And so no longer will he just be this servant, right? He's been glorified, and he will come to make war. He will be a just judge. Second thing that we see, and really the last thing I want to talk about today for this, is that Revelation 21 and 22 is so beautiful, where it talks about Christ's reign over the earth, this new earth. And so this tells us a couple things. One, some people would look at this passage and make an argument that it will be the same physical earth, but just a refined earth. And some people might say it's a completely different place, right? I don't know if it's a new planet. I don't know if it's a new dimension. I don't know what that even means. But the reality is that we will be in a place that Jesus has prepared for us, where there will be no division, where there will be no pain, there will be no suffering, because there will be no sin, right? And Jesus Christ will reign forever and ever. And we will be reunited with him in this perfect dwelling. And this is such a beautiful truth, is because it's not that we will be united, but it's that we will be reunited. And what we're going to talk about next week, when we talk about Genesis 1, is how it all started. And so from start to finish, we start where we're supposed to be in perfection, and then everything breaks. In the entire story of the scriptures is us all getting back to being reunited with Christ. At the end of the day, the Bible is this love story between how they started off great, and then that part where they really fall off the rails is just a really long part of the story, right? But it has a happy ending. And it's a beautiful ending, and that's what we see in the book of Revelation. So I hope this is a nice kind of bow on top, for, if you will, for this study and this series. And like I said, we're just going to start it over again because it's the story of the scriptures, and it's timeless, and we always need more of it, and especially our students do as well. So thank you guys so much for teaching, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say this Sunday.